Y'all know what time it is. Y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. Hat on, suit on, looking like a dapper dawn, giving them all, dressed like $1 million, diamond things in its cuffs. Y'all tell me who could it be but Steve Harvey? Yeah, said listening to me. Put your hands together for Steve Harvey. Put your hands together. Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey, why don't you join in? Steve Harvey, get on, y'all. Better give me some eggs while I listen to Steve Harvey. Won't you join in with me? Come with me, help me say, turn your radio on. You gotta turn it on. Steve Harvey got to turn them out. Got to turn them out. Harvey turn them on in the morning, y'all. Come on, Steve. Come on. Do your thing, Big Daddy.
I sure will. Good morning, everybody. You are listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. One and only, Steve Harvey got a radio show. Man, oh man, oh man. How many times I got to say that before I get tired of it? I think it's going to be a minute, folks. I got to be real with you. Because, boy, that Steve Harvey got a radio show. Man, clear indication of how God can do some unexpected, wonderful things for you. How he leads your life in directions that you never, ever saw coming. You know, I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were talking about how, man, they were young and they were doing things, and they never knew that the things that they were doing as a youngster would come and help form who they were today. As an adult, this guy's 50 years old. And, you know, the same thing for you. If you look back on your life and all of the things that you've done, it helps shape you into who you are. Now, this is provided now that you take the positive approach. Now, when I say look back at your life and see what you've done, that doesn't mean dwell on the misfortunate moments, because the misfortunate moments were necessary. I know it's hard to see that when it's happening to you, but the unfortunate moments are necessary. You know, what really makes you appreciate summer vacation is winter work. What really makes you appreciate a walk on the beach is when it's cold, it's raining outside. What really makes you appreciate when you're up is because you've been down. See, if you were up all the time, just the nature of us as human beings, we would lose our appreciation for it, because it becomes que sera, whatever it is. Well, it is what it is. I'm just what? You take it for granted. It becomes expected. But what happens in life is it has so many twists and turns. And then you learn how to deal with those twists and turns, which makes you now a more experienced person. And then when the sunny days come, man, you go, wow, it's really nice outside. You really want to appreciate how warm weather, just stay in a bunch of cold weather all the time. You know what I'm saying? This is really simple analogies, but it helps you along the way. Now, here's what I came to say today to everybody out there, and this has helped me in my life. I can't tell you what it's done for me, but a lot of people are struggling with moving forward with their future plans, their future goals, their future aspirations, their future hopes, their future dreams, just simply your future wants. A lot of people trying to have a hard time mapping out their future. even what I'm going to do, what I'm going to be, what I'm going to make, how I'm going to go about it, what do I do next. I want to share something with you that I had to come to terms with. The quickest way to lose focus on your future is to keep focusing on your past. You know, it's like I said at the beginning, you know, when I say it's wonderful to look at your life and review it, because if you look at it, it'll tell you it really helps shape and form you today as the person you are. Now, if you look at it in a positive sense, but if you dwell and harp on the negative that's happened to you, then that keeps you from seeing the good in the incident. Every bad thing that's happened to you, there was a silver lining behind it. I know people who were on drugs who finally, man, just got sent to prison for stealing because of their habit. I know a cat that sold dope. Well, he went to prison. He told me one time, he said, Steve, he said, man, this is the best thing ever happened to me. This saved my life. Now, most people would think, how in the world is going to prison helpful for you? The brother said, it saved my life. First of all, it got me clean. He said, I've been clean for 5 years from sitting in here. That's for starters, I'm clean. I ain't stealing no more. I ain't putting myself in jeopardy, and I ain't jeopardizing nobody else. He said, nah, man, I done went to college. I done got a college degree while I'm in here. Then he was released from prison, and the brother's life was completely turned around. He married. He got a family. He got a great job. He go to work every day. He's a productive citizen. I mean, so he looks back on his incarceration, even his drug abuse, and it taught him how to appreciate the things in life that he had taken for granted and was missing. Because he said, man, my life was just in a blur. I didn't even know what was going on. He said, now I appreciate every day I wake up. That's what I mean. Even in your missteps in life, there is a purpose for the missteps. Every time you fail, there was a reason for the failure. See, what I had to do was I had to learn that all of my failures taught me how to get back up. So I became a very strong and tough person in getting back up. And then I was down and out so long that it taught me how to really appreciate the up. And so I've taken all of that and used it, those experiences that happened to me, and I became a more experienced person. So next time when people talk about me who don't know me, it don't shake me, because everybody not going to like you, man. You might as well go and get on this train right now. And so what I'm saying to you out there is the quickest way to lose focus on your future is to keep focusing on your past. Let it go. Yeah, he left. But like I told this lady on my TV show the other day, sometimes the breakup is the blessing. I know it's hard to break up because now you're lonely and you by yourself. But man, wasn't you in misery when you was in that? Weren't you in complete misery in that? Now, you kept asking God to fix it, but it takes two people to fix a relationship. It don't just take one. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. You really do have to have two people wanting a relationship to work. It can't just be one person wanting a relationship. So you can pray about the relationship all you want. If the other person don't want you no more and ain't going to act right, you can't make him do that. Or you can't make her do that. But you steady asking God for a new relationship, but you are yet to be grateful that you are in a position to have a relationship, and you keep harping on the past. You don't think he hear that? I'm just a dude with a show, and I hear it all the time. Let it go. Go forward. It's over. You made it. He brought you through it. You survived it. Why are you dwelling on it and making it the cross around your neck when clearly he had removed it for you? Now, all you got to do is come on. So if you're sitting behind them walls, brothers and sisters, I'm talking directly to you. Sometimes, man, you just got to get it right. All this repeat offender business, that's for who is that for? How ignorant can you be to keep giving your life back to the penal system? Be free, man. Walk the streets. Do the right thing. Ask God to help connect you. He can do anything. You think he can't give you a job? Are you serious, man? Put some faith on it. Let's move forward, y'all. Let it go. Let's move.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Steve Harvey Morning Show. It's going to be a little bit different today, I'll admit. You know, it's going to be a little touchy because I think everybody's reeling from the news, but this is the Steve Harvey Morning Show. So here we go. So grateful that we are here. Thank you, Father God, for that. And just I thank him ahead of time for strength for everybody who deals with grief in a certain way. But this is the Steve Harvey Morning Show, and we are here. You know, these are the things that we grapple with in life. You know, the comings, the goings, the grief, the sorrow, the ups, the downs. It's going to be a lot of victories along the way too. But today we're here. We're here. Shirley Strawberry.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Everyone.
Carla Farrell.
Good morning, crew. What's going on? How you doing?
Is Junior Boy
Morning, Aunt.
in the building?
Yes, sir.
Could I hear from the food?
Yes. I'm right here.
Present, huh?
Present. Front and
So, you know, I mean, look, the number one topic
Oh, Lord, Steve.
is the passing of the basketball great Kobe Bryant. And I mean, you know, we'll be dealing with it today. We'll be dealing with it for a while. I mean, you know, this was a monumental player in the game of basketball, but for the culture also, I believe, you know. I think because Kobe, this generation of young people, Kobe Bryant was their Michael Jordan, so to speak, in terms of basketball. And I mean, this dude is famous globally, man. This is not this boy's jersey is everywhere, man. Great guy. So here we are.
Yeah. Who would ever think that we would be here, because this news was just so devastatingly shocking. I mean, the first thing that I talked to, everyone said, Steve, I'm sure including you, said, no, this can't be true. This can't be true.
I wanted it not to be true.
Everyone was
I wanted
in denial.
it to be fake news or
initially.
whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Everyone was.
I turned the TV on then the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first three people that called me, I said, hey, man, you got to hold up. That I kept saying that don't sound right. And then I went online, and then it started coming down as to what really, really happened. And I mean, man, it really wiped my day out yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, completely wiped it out.
Took the whole thing away.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking. It's just
Yeah.
heartbreaking, unthinkable news.
Right, and whether you're a basketball fan or not, a Laker fan or not, this touched everyone. Everyone was talking about this. I mean, seriously, because he was more than basketball. He was only 41 years old, too.
And
That's
he lost his daughter.
And his daughter.
His 13-year-old daughter.
His daughter.
too.
And at first, you know, I didn't get that news. And then, you know, the rumors started coming. So we'll be talking about it to try to give everybody a chance to vent. You know, sometimes you just have to get it out.
Yeah. All right. Coming up at 32 minutes after the hour, we'll talk more about this tragedy, Kobe Bryant and his daughter, on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Coming up right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, so Steve, as we said when we opened the show, we're just heartbroken this morning. Yesterday, one of the greatest NBA players of all time, Kobe Bryant, and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, they called her Gianna, they called her Gigi, were among the 9 people who died in a tragic helicopter accident. Kobe's private helicopter went down in Calabasas, California. Kobe was 41 years old. The world is reeling from this tragic loss. Fans, friends, celebrities, including Michael Jordan, President Barack Obama, Tom Brady, Magic Johnson, Doc Rivers, LeBron James, Dwayne
Man,
Wade.
what I heard when they
Shaq
interviewed
O'Neal.
Doc Rivers on TV, I mean, man, it was so hard. Another one, I went to NBA Live, and Brian Shaw is a commentator, and he played. A lot of pictures of him, Kobe, in the training room and stuff. He played. This brother was crying so openly on TV. Doc Rivers was bent out of shape. And when I saw Jerry West who is the one who picked Kobe Bryant out of high school.
Yeah, he did.
First round.
These people's reaction was pure, man, and it was really hard, man. I mean, like you said, Shirley, it wasn't just that he was a basketball player. I think, you look at 41 years old, and you think, he had a family, man. This
Beautiful
dude had
wife, beautiful daughters.
Man.
Mother, father,
and how, you all are mothers. How?
Unimaginable.
On the same day do you lose your husband and one of your children?
Unimaginable.
It's just
unimaginable.
That's devastating.
Yeah.
Unthinkable, the devastation and the heartache that
loss.
you will probably never ever heal from.
Yeah.
You will never. It will be something that you just have to learn to live with.
Yep.
Because she has other children. She just had a baby last year.
She just had a baby last year.
Vanessa just had a daughter last year. I guess they were trying, for a son for Kobe because he already had 3.
Yeah, you don't get over it. You live.
That's what I say. You learn to live with this, and she has to for her other daughters.
Yeah,
she has to keep going because she's a mother. But Steve, like you said, it's just, my heart goes out to her, his parents.
Yeah, his parents,
Mr.
his
and
mom and
Mrs.
dad.
Joe and Pam Bryant, Kobe's parents. They lost a granddaughter. They lost a son, all at one time. His sisters. Kobe has sisters. Woo.
It's unimaginable. It just really, really is.
So, what are the reports? What was the what was the total number? Did anybody know the total number of people?
I'm hearing
on the
9,
plane?
Augustine.
Yeah.
I'm hearing 9. I don't know if it's 9 plus the pilot or 9. I don't know how that's adding up. It started out with 5. Then it's at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says
So-
9,
is the
including
final.
Kobe and his daughter
Right.
Gigi were among the 9 killed.
But let me ask you this, Uncle Steve. I
Final.
don't know a lot about helicopters. I've been on one on a tour on vacation with 4 or 5 people in there. I mean, how many does it hold? Is there a weight limit? How does that work?
they got big helicopters. I've seen 12 people on the helicopter easy. I don't think that they would do anything that wasn't safe or in compliance. People don't have to do that. He got, we got pack on here. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. Because people don't normally take unnecessary risks with their lives trying to save money is what I'm saying. I don't think that, anybody would go, well, let's pack them on here anyway. Because,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
not especially a helicopter. I don't know a lot about helicopters. I've flown in them quite often. I take them in New York sometimes when I land at the airstrip and I don't want to deal with traffic. Dr. Field taught me to take a helicopter from Teterboro over to 34th Street and then get in the car from there. Save traffic. I've done it on vacations. I do it, when I'm traveling abroad. But all I know is single engine and twin engine. And I will not get in a helicopter that's not twin engine. Because I always thought, since we just dealing with this one blade up here, I'm going to need 2 engines. Because if one go out, I want to know that you can cut this other one on. And I really don't even know if that would help me. I'm just, that's the black in me, just want 2 engines, you know what I'm saying?
Back
Don't know nothing really about how helicopters work. I know it's beautiful when you're in one. Yeah. It's scary. Those mosquito helicopters are scary. The ones that look like a little bulb.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now those, I don't do that. Because I did, the first time I ever got on one was that. In Atlanta, I went to a horse race in one of them, and I'll never get in another one of them because, like, the little bubble, you look down at your feet and it's glass. And it was just too much for me. I just shut my eyes the first time. And then I found out that there were other types of helicopters, and that's what I started riding in, But
it's
say
just the
weather
fact
was
that
a factor.
yeah, because it was foggy, very foggy,
Mm-hmm.
and they circled and circled and circled around. But you know, like we were saying earlier, guys, it's beyond basketball because the people that really knew Kobe talked about what a great dad he was. He was such a great dad to his 4 daughters, you know, and he got teased a lot because he had daughters and no sons, you know, and all of this. But they are saying the relationship that he had with his daughters was just unbelievable. I mean, there was so much love there, you know.
Shirley, I've seen videos of him playing 101 with this young girl, with his Gigi. And him just teaching
Hold
her
on,
the game.
Tommy, hold that thought right there, man.
Okay.
We'll be right back, y'all. More Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Miss Ann is standing by with today's national news. Also on entertainment news, we'll talk about music's biggest night, the 62nd annual Grammy Awards. We'll talk about that at the top of the hour. But right now, we're still talking about and mourning the devastating loss of the one and only Kobe Bryant, one of NBA's greatest basketball players ever. Did you guys hear when one of the reporters on MSNBC, I think her name is Allison Morris, she was talking about the death of Kobe Bryant, and she mistakenly said the N-word. I think it was a mistake.
No, that wasn't no mistake.
That wasn't a mistake.
Take a listen. Take a listen.
An athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Wait,
What is that?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was she
That
said.
ain't no mistake.
Nah.
It's so sad. That's the only
What-
word that came to her head was the N word, and she just.
Well, I
blurted
mean, what
it
could
out.
she think she's saying? What was the
She
mistake?
could
What
have
was
been
she
saying
trying
the
to
Los
say?
Angeles Knicks, but he never played for the Knicks. I mean,
No.
the
He
Knicks
ain't played but for one team.
Yeah.
No.
His entire
That
career.
was her explanation. Does anybody have her explanation
I
of
do.
it?
She
Yeah.
tweeted out, Allison Morris, she tweeted out earlier today while reporting on the tragic news of Kobe Bryant's passing. I unfortunately stuttered on air,
No, that wasn't no stutter.
combining the names of the Knicks and the Lakers to say Nakers. Please know
What?
I did not and would never use a
Oh, no.
racist term. I apologize for the confusion that this caused.
You got to go. She got to
Yeah.
go.
no,
Yeah.
she got
Who she work for?
Confusion. The
MS
only person that's
NBC.
confused is
Okay,
her.
she got to
Anchor.
go.
She's
We're
an
not-
I
anchor.
don't care if she an anchor or out in the field. She got to go.
We're not
You gotta go.
confused.
And it's one thing us N-words can hear is the word N-word. We can hear that very
Jay.
clearly.
A mile away.
Man.
Yeah.
No,
but
man,
she's
I
not
mean-
we're not
Yeah,
confused.
it's not funny. It's not even
I
funny.
heard
not.
it,
It's not.
and you know, see, when she said I stuttered, you're talking to a person who really stuttered severely, and when you stutter, you don't really mispronounce a lot of words.
No, she stumbled.
I don't even know how you could say you got that confused with the Knicks. What do the Knicks have to do with the story?
Exactly.
If you're a
Exactly.
reporter, even if you're not a sports fan, where did you get Knicks from? So if you're not a sports fan, and where did you get Knicks from and Lakers?
But
And the
no,
apology
and not
should have
only
came
that-
right after you
at
came
Not
back
best.
from
only that,
commercial.
Lakers-
she should have
Yeah.
apologized immediately.
Right
But
away.
she
not
said
in
it
a
so
tweet.
quick. And
Right
then
in
you
a
know
tweet.
what she said was, let's stay with us, and like maybe if I hear them get through this, ain't nobody hear this.
Well, we
But you
heard
better
it.
believe
But let's stop this.
it was some
The hell with
cameramen
the
and
apology.
everything looking at her
And heard the word.
so crazy
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
said that.
Yep.
I don't care nothing about the apology. I don't care when it came or when it should have came. She need to be gone immediately.
It's hard to imagine that there's not some disciplinary action behind that right there. It's just because it's too blatant.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to confuse that with anything.
No. I didn't hear K consonant nowhere.
What do you mean for Laker?
Nakers.
Okay.
Yeah. Nakers?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And if you
I
put
just
it in, it's the Nakers. I mean, where you get that from? I mean, what?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know how
I-
you got that IGGER in there. That's what
I mean,
don't-
all of it. Now, she didn't. She went. She got it all. I mean, she said it
Yeah,
all right.
it wasn't like a part of it.
No.
No.
No, it's a whole word.
It's the whole word.
MSNBC.
It's what we're called every
Yeah.
day, and we know that it's racist, and it doesn't sound like a mistake to me.
She
It
used
don't.
to work
It
at
don't.
Fox, too.
She's said it before.
She worked at Fox?
I think
She
so.
Bruh.
been saying it then, ain't she? She been saying it.
I think
See,
so.
Yeah,
Bruh.
no. You been saying it.
Yeah.
I don't
That ain't
even know how.
And that ain't your first time saying that word because
No,
you didn't say
because it was
oops.
crystal
yeah,
clear.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
crystal
that's what I missed. The fact that if it was such a mistake, why didn't you stop
Catch it right then.
and just say, "I am so sorry. That is
No.
not
See,
what I meant."
See, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Antithesis,
Antithesis.
stethoscope,
Stethoscope.
ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you another one. Therapeutically,
Statistically.
unabashed. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because these are words that are normally you're not going to hear come out of my mouth. Because these are words I'm very, very unfamiliar with, very, very uncomfortable with. And I sound as when I'm saying them that I'm uncomfortable with it. Stethoscope is a word that I've never been comfortable saying. So it's not going to just flow out of me. I ain't one day going to see this thing on that doctor's neck and then nail it. I have to focus to try to say it.
To say it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's another word.
Hypothesis.
No, what's that word on the radio, Shirley, where you had to correct me on that I use?
Just one acumen.
Acumen. Acumen is a word, because I thought it was business acumen.
Yeah.
I always thought it was acumen, business acumen. I always thought that it was swordfish.
Oh, instead of sword.
Yeah, I just learned that it was swordfish just a few years ago, because I've ordered swordfish in a restaurant before. And I noticed the white lady smirked a little bit. I said, okay, she don't care for swordfish.
Okay.
And I just found that out. So these are words that when I say them, I sound uncomfortable. When this woman said that, she sound very comfortable. It was fluid. She didn't stutter. She has said this word before many times.
You said it real
It's a
clear.
word
Yeah,
that's in
real
her
clear.
vocabulary.
Right. It's either been these or those or them, all those, N words.
Why
So
they-
she's used it before. Yeah.
Why
these?
She
yeah.
worked at Fox.
How come
She
these?
been
Yeah.
saying it.
She
Yeah,
said it
local
before.
Fox
Yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
Well, Fox is Fox. She said it.
Yeah.
She said it over there.
So we're not giving her the
They have
benefit
a
of the
petition
doubt.
going
No,
to
she
get
don't
her
get a pass,
fired.
no.
Yeah, there is a petition.
Something has to happen. And I don't care if it is MSNBC, which is supposed to be a liberal station.
Liberal, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I don't care.
The opposite of Fox.
What difference that make to me?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think there has to be some discipline. Now, should it ruin her career for the rest of her life? No.
No, but something
But there
needs
has to be
happen.
some
Yeah.
disciplinary action. Should be allowed to come back to work. Yeah, one day.
Wow.
Might be
All right,
about 3
guys.
years.
Coming up at the top of the hour, some entertainment and national news right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, last night, it was the 62nd annual Grammy Awards. It was hosted by Alicia Keys. And the opening of the show,
Very
Alicia was...
sad. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really sad. Alicia was joined on stage by Boys to Men. They paid tribute to Kobe Bryant. Take a listen.
Here we are, together on music's biggest night, celebrating the artists that do it best. But to be honest with you, we're all feeling crazy sadness right now. Because earlier today, Los Angeles, America, and the whole wide world lost a hero. And we're literally standing here heartbroken. in the house that Kobe Bryant built. Right now, Kobe and his daughter Gianna and all of those that have been tragically lost today are in our spirit, they're in our hearts, they're in our prayers, they're in this building. And I would like to ask everybody to take a moment and just hold them inside of you. Hold them inside of you. And share our strength and our support with their families. We never imagined in a million years we'd have to start the show like this. Never, 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 never. So we wanted to do something that could describe a tiny bit how we all feel right now. It's so hard to say goodbye to what we had.
There was also a tribute to Nipsey Hussle on the Grammys, led by DJ Khaled. And in that Nipsey Hussle tribute, they also honored Kobe Bryant. So, like Alicia Keys said, Kobe Bryant on the hearts and minds of everyone, especially in LA, in the United States, and around the world. I mean, globally, this has hit us hard right here. 41 years old. It's just
Did you see
an unthinkable
all
thing.
of those fans, the Lakers fans and just fans of Kobe Bryant? Did you all see them gather around the Staples Center and just had a memorial of flowers?
LA is very, very sad. I mean, they love Kobe Bryant. They love Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
That's right.
He was the man. He really was, right?
Yeah. Cat Dog, our engineer that runs the board and takes care of us, Cat, Kobe was his favorite player. He didn't talk about anybody else but Kobe all the time. Yeah. That was his guy.
Yeah. Well, my friend I used to work with, she named her son Kobe after Kobe Bryant. I mean, it's serious with a lot of these people.
Remember
they're
Brandy?
in tears. They're heartbroken, right?
Remember when Brandy took him to her prom years ago?
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, that was a moment, you know.
He was in a Destiny's Child video.
He was, He won an Oscar last year. Remember that?
Sure did.
Yeah, he won an Oscar, an Academy Award.
He
for
made
his basketball
music.
movie.
Yeah, he made music too.
Yeah,
he made music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was something special. He certainly was. Magic Johnson called him the greatest Laker of all time. Magic Johnson called him that. The greatest Laker of all time. He said he was a friend, a legend, husband, father, son, brother, Oscar winner, and greatest Laker of all time. All right, Steve, time to get to today's headlines, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ann Tripp.
Thank you very much. This is Ann Tripp with the news. That's right, the world does still mourn Kobe Bryant. In fact, as crowds converged yesterday evening onto L.A. Staples Center to honor the stars of music at the Grammys, they were met by the throngs of people who had been there all day, commiserating with each other over the untimely and shocking death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Both the FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are on the scene of the helicopter crash that caused a quarter-acre brush fire, by the way, where L.A. Sheriff Alex Villanueva says that the NBA legend and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna were among the people killed.
We have a manifest that indicates that there was 9 people on board the aircraft, the pilot plus 8 individuals.
At least for first, there was a report there were only 3 people. Then there was a report that there were 5 people. Finally, that they say that there were 9 people. Gianna, or Gigi Bryant, by the way, a reportedly talented young basketball player, and her coach, Christina Mauser, was also on that crash copter. Others reportedly killed included Orange Coast College baseball coach John Altobelli, along with his wife and daughter. His daughter played with Gianni. Altobelli was named 2019's National Coach of the Year by the American Baseball Coaches Association. Just named that last year. There are now 4 makeshift memorials to Kobe today, one at the crash site in Calabasas, California, one outside Kobe's home in Newport Beach, one outside Kobe's Mamba Sports Academy in Thousand Oaks, and one, of course, outside Kobe's house, outside Staples Center. His fellow players and admirers still in shock and sadness at the loss of the 41-year-old 18-time NBA All-Star with 5 NBA titles, considered one of the best athletes, period, ever. Only a couple of days ago, LeBron James broke Kobe's third-place scoring records. I don't know if you remember that, but King James could speak only admiringly about Kobe Bryant.
Seeing the work ethic that he put into the game, he had zero flaws offensively. He could shoot the mid-range, he can post, he can make free throws. He had zero flaws offensively, and he was just immortal offensively because of your skill set and your work ethic. I'm happy to be in any conversation with Kobe being Bryant, one of the all-time greatest basketball players to ever play, one of the all-time greatest Lakers.
And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar released a video, this in part.
Kobe, my thoughts are with you. Rest in peace, young man. This loss it's just hard to comprehend. Go with God.
The Senate impeachment trial resumes today. The GOP arguing against impeachment. Republicans being urged to allow President Trump's former National Security Advisor John Bolton to testify because in a new book, apparently, he backs up what the Democrats are saying. Last night's Grammys, former lady Michelle Obama won a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album, and Bad Boys for Life, #1 at the box office for the second week, so far grossing $120 million domestically. Now back to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, we are all just heartbroken about the loss of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. Last night, 60 Minutes aired a special from a past interview when they talked to Kobe about his childhood love of basketball. Take a listen to this.
I played baseball. Growing up in Italy, I was forced to play soccer, football, but basketball really moved me. No other sport touched me like the game of basketball. When I would get really upset and I would get really down, I could always just pick up a basketball and go to the playground and just shoot and just put myself in the scenario of being in a finals game. I would just completely get away from everything that's around me. I could be at a park with trees and, but in my mind, I'm in a gymnasium with thousands of people going crazy, in Game 7. So I can just completely escape that moment and be in a complete dream world. I love playing basketball. It's nothing like it. This is the ball when it bounces, the sound that it makes, the smell of the basketball. Not one that's completely brand new or one that's too old, but one that's right in the middle. It's kind of worn down a little bit. It just smells like NBA. The nets, when you shoot the ball and it goes right through the net, that noise that it makes when it pops the net up. The sneakers as they squeak on the wood, the strategies, the competition, the camaraderie, the fans. We just go on and on and on.
Jesus. Wow. See, when you hear somebody describe the passion for the game like that, he went on and on and on. There's a whole thing they did in his own words about basketball that he had recorded. Mm-hmm. On a lighter note, that's why I'm not in the league today. Because No. The sound of the sneakers on the gym floor.
Make us laugh, because we need
First
to
of
laugh.
all, I didn't have that sound of the gym shoe on the floor because I was in shoes that cost $4.
Cheap shoes don't make that sound.
Yeah.
They don't.
You just slide to a stop. You don't stop.
There's no grip.
So you get
Right.
whistle for traveling.
Well, no, you learn to keep dribbling, Junior. When you wear shoes that don't have grips on them, you learn that you're not going to stop, so you add 2 more dribbles.
Yeah.
And his
You stopping,
description
but
of
the
basketball.
ball is gone. You're absolutely right.
Oh, man.
I know, that's funny.
But we needed to hear that. Cause
Yeah, Steve.
we need a smile. Right now.
Did you ever have tennis shoes that came loose at the front, Steve, where they was flapping? Did you have the flap?
No.
Yeah, that lip in the front.
You know how the Pelicans player
loose, man.
Zion Williamson.
Zion ripped out the side of his shoe.
I remember that.
That's not new.
No, that's happened a lot.
He didn't invent
Chuck
that.
Taylor.
All right,
That ain't
guys.
nothing. He ripped out his shoe, boy.
We'll be sharing all morning. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Yesterday, various basketball teams paid tribute to Kobe Bryant. The New York Knicks and the Nets had a moment of silence at Madison Square Garden. The Raptors and Spurs let the 24-second clock expire during their first possession of the game. Mark Cuban, who, of course, Steve, you know, is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he said that number 24 will never be worn again by the Mavericks. And D. Wade said that yesterday was the saddest day of his lifetime. Take a listen.
Today is one of the saddest days in my lifetime. It seems like a bad dream that you just want to wake up from. It's a nightmare. I know we all feel the same way about such a great leader, just a great champion, just a great person. If you got a chance to know Kobe, you got a chance to really know Kobe. Ain't nobody better, man. Emotions all over the place. These are the moments when you ask why. My heart and thoughts goes out to Kobe's family, his daughter Gigi. This is a sad day. There's no way around it. My family and I have been sharing Kobe's stories. We got so many moments that he's given us. We're so thankful for those moments. I'm thankful for those moments, man. This was one of my favorite players. And I got a chance to have a relationship, a friendship. But I would miss him. I would miss the friendship. Kobe, thank you, man. Thank you for all the memories. Dude, we got a lot of good ones. And these tears that we're crying, we're gonna miss you. Thank you for being my friend. I love you, brother.
Wow.
Man.
That was real. From the heart right there. Wow. Whew. Kobe Bryant retired after the 2015-16 season as a 5-time NBA champion, 1-time league MVP. He was an 18-time All-Star and played his entire 2-decade-long career as a member of the Lakers after LA acquired him on draft night in 1996 from the Charlotte Hornets. Kobe exited his NBA career by scoring 60 points against the Utah Jazz back in April of 2016 and was just eclipsed by LeBron James on the league's all-time scoring list.
Wow. I have a question. Maybe y'all can answer for me.
Now, that was his last night.
Yeah.
He got out with 60.
Yeah.
Just in case I think about coming back.
Wait, what?
Just in case I think about coming back.
In case y'all forgot.
Right. Okay. Could you answer a question for me, somebody? I mean, you sports guys, y'all should know. Why, I live in LA and I don't know, why did Kobe have 2 numbers? Because I don't know why.
Number 8 and number 24.
All I know, the only thing, Kat could probably answer it a lot better than me. I know he switched numbers to 24 because 24 meant he was on 24/7. That's the only thing that I knew. He wanted the number because he was about 24/7. I'm on 24/7. Now, there's another story behind it. I don't really know it. I heard it, but I done forgot it. So
well, I know I didn't know. That's why I asked y'all.
Well, here's a question.
I want to be next to Jordan. Jordan was 23. He was 24.
8 was his number his whole high school, since high school. Number 8 was his jersey.
Here's a question. Why was he called the Black Mamba?
Because he had that killer instinct. The Black Mamba is one of the most aggressive snakes in wildlife. The Black Mamba attacks on water, land. The Black Mamba has one of the most poisonous bites, and he's one of the most aggressive snakes.
If Black you get bit by a Black Mamba, all you get to say is "I've been bit," and boom, that's it. You don't even get to say about what.
He embraced that role. he was
a straight assassin.
You know how many arenas would boo Kobe Bryant when he walked in? Because he take your whole hope away.
All right, guys. Coming up next, we'll just share our thoughts and our feelings about this tragic news on the death of Kobe Bryant right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
I want you to know now, so we both can savor every moment we have left together. The good and the bad. We have given each other all that we have. And we both know No matter what I do next, I'll always be that kid with the rolled up socks, garbage can in the corner, 5 seconds on the clock, ball in my hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Love you always, Kobe.
All morning long, we've been talking about the tragic death of Kobe Bryant, NBA legend Kobe Bryant, and his daughter, along with 7 other people who were tragically killed yesterday in a helicopter crash. Our very own J. Anthony Brown went out on the streets of L.A. because L.A. is really feeling this, as Kobe spent most of his career, his entire career, professionally playing basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers. And you did some man on the street stuff, right, Jay?
Yep. I mean, just started talking about Kobe, you get a crowd. I mean, it was just everybody, I want to say something, so take a listen. J. Anthony Brown for the Steve Harvey Morning Show, talking to people about the passing of Kobe Bryant.
Very tragic thing, for him to lose his life at such an early age. I feel like Los Angeles is full of angels. Condolences out to his family and all the other fans.
It's real unfortunate, man. And it looked like he was, he had done settled in as he retired and everything. It looked like he was living his best life. And then to have something tragic like that happen, that's unfortunate, man.
My daughter's a basketball player. It hurts. It's deep.
He was one of the greatest to ever play in the game. He really changed my life, and he just changed the game of the NBA, just the face of the future for a lot of these kids.
R.I.P. Kobe, he will be missed.
Wow.
That's just some of them.
Yeah.
It's millions of people that have comments.
You know what? And it's,
Kobe, right?
you know what, Jay? It's important sometimes when you have a major event like this that you allow people to vent, because that's a part of dealing with it.
Yeah.
The moving forward part has not yet started, and because you got to grapple with it. I have no idea what Vanessa, his wife, is. I have no idea what this woman could possibly, and like Carla said earlier, you would have to sedate her. Your husband and your child the same day. One of your children. And so, because now you got to go on being a mother. You can't stop being a mother, right?
Right, and you have to be
because
strong.
you got 3 others, So you can't stop being a mother. But you are the wife of somebody, and they've known each other since they were kids.
Yes.
These 2 people been together since kids.
Through it all.
Yeah.
Through it all, right?
Kids, they learned and they stayed together. This is rough, man. And then Kobe Bryant had a mother and a father.
Oh, yeah, Mr. and Mrs.
Kobe Bryant got sisters.
Joe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant got
Miss
relatives.
Pam Bryant, his mother. Yeah.
It's I mean, man, and like Jace, you talked about these people who said, he was he was so young, he was settling into his life,
living his best
41. 41 is young to leave this world, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said earlier, my friend's sister died this week. She was 68. I'm 63. That gets your attention.
Yes, it does.
41 years old, man.
Should get everyone's
41.
Yeah.
We were on a business call on Sunday when we got the news. I just got off the phone when I heard it. Because you know what? All of a sudden, this business that we were arguing with, it didn't matter to me. I'm going to call my kids, man. And just tell my kids I love them. Because this business y'all talking on the Lord's Day anyway, really? We'll just deal with it. We got to get this straightened out before the beginning of the week. Hey, man. Or what?
The other thing, Steve, it makes you understand why all the people in L.A. went to the Staples Center to be around people who are going through the same thing that they're going through. I mean, they're not family, but they love Kobe just just as much as anybody. You know, they're big fans. And you understand why they would go to the Staples Center to be around people who are going through the same thing, because it is very hard for a lot of people. This ain't no joke. They are really, really grieving over this guy, man. They really are.
I mean, I'm 41 years old. I mean, it shook me to my core.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, man, like processing that, you know.
Right.
Like whatever I was mad at some people about, man, I'm gonna tell y'all today, I'm sorry. It is not even worth it, man.
It's not even important.
It ain't even worth it.
Nope. Because you just never know. This is, man.
This is some news you never would think you'd get on a day yesterday like yesterday.
Yeah.
You never would think that. Right?
Yeah, it even made me think about.
What were you saying, Tommy? What were you saying?
I was saying my wife went to a luncheon yesterday, so I had my kids, and I took them to lunch so we just wouldn't be sitting in the house, and I'm watching all this on TV while we having lunch. And I'm just sitting there looking at them like I'm just so glad I'm with y'all right now.
Blessed. Yeah, Tommy.
You know, they on their phones, they doing their normal thing, but I'm just for me to just be looking at them.
Present.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You don't know what that means.
Yeah. I was just going to say, and I'll say it quickly, the last time I saw Kobe, not that I saw him all the time, but it was just something that struck me about him. We were at the Beyonce concert when she toured on the road too, with On the Run too with Jay-Z when they were in Los Angeles.
The last
I was
concert,
at the concert. Yeah. Kobe was there, and as he walked through the crowd, the people were just Kobe. I mean, just in Los Angeles, they showed him so much love. And I don't remember seeing him with his daughters, but I think he was with his family, and he was so kind and so nice. He kept looking forward, kept walking. But it was like, wow, that's the last time. Who knew? You know, I mean, that man, it just.
Well, you know, the other thing is that it's
crazy.
amazing. And I mean, Tommy and Steve and Junior, all of us, we get it. When fans love you, you know, they don't have to love you. They really don't.
No,
you can put out what you put out.
Yeah.
You can put out what you put out. You can do what you do. But when they really love you and they genuinely love you and care about you, it is genuine, man. And so it doesn't take a lot of time to say thank you, shake a hand, take a picture, take a selfie.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't take it for granted at all, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a blessing. It's
It is a blessing.
I mean, from God.
Fans of this morning show.
Yeah,
We got
right.
loyal fans, and we love and thank them, and
We appreciate you guys.
them for listening every day, taking time out of their morning to listen to us.
We thank you.
It's an honor.
Definitely. Yeah,
This
it's
is
a heavy
painful,
morning.
y'all.
It's a heavy morning because
It is very heavy.
I mean, this is someone we all knew and loved, and we all watched basically grow up and, you know, mature in the game, and just.
It's a lot of people grew up with him, Shirley.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
He grew up way under us.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I'm saying
Just
we
want
watched
to keep
him.
you on target with the age. Don't be sitting up in here.
Yes,
trying to
you
play
didn't
like
grow
that.
up with Kobe.
What are
You're
you
not
saying?
finna
He's
sit
saying
up
Aretha
here.
Franklin grew
He
up
right,
with
but
you.
you ain't grew up with Kobe.
Yeah, you're not finna sit here like you 31.
Now, you could have babysat Kobe, but you ain't grew
You
up
could
with
have
him.
watched
I'm
him.
not sitting here
Oh,
like
getting joking
Oh,
now.
you could have watched him.
Joking now.
right.
Yeah.
We're all crazy.
Okay.
All right, we'll have
Let's
more.
be real
Thank you.
about that now.
Thank you, Steve. Such the gentleman you are. Thank you
I just
so
wanted to make
much.
sure you didn't,
It's about to get real
Wow.
joking now.
We'll be back with more of the Steve Harvey Morning
we
Show right
grew up
after this.
together. No, you didn't.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
What a tough morning this is. I mean, we have to just be real with our audience and just let them know. I mean, we're feeling it too. We all feel this. Head coach of the Clippers, also an LA basketball team, Doc Rivers, he had a tough time dealing with it too. He got really emotional. Take a listen.
I don't know. I just don't have a lot to say. The news is just devastating to everybody who knew him, known him a long time. And, he means a lot to me, obviously. He was such a great opponent, It's what you want in sports. He had that DNA that that very few athletes can ever have. You know, the Tiger Woods and the Michael Jordans. You know, it's funny. I was getting to know him more since he retired. You know, yeah, this is a tough one. I don't. I mean, we have to go play. I mean, the news is just so devastating for Vanessa and his family, and there's just so many people he touched, you know. And you know, it's looking at my young players and seeing how emotional they are. They didn't even know him, you know, and it just tells you how far his reach was. So, I mean, this is just shocking news for all of us. And sorry, I don't have a lot to say. I just can't. I have to go talk to a team before a game and tell them to play a game.
Wow.
I was watching it live yesterday when they went to him because I went to the NBA channel. And it was tough because after he got through saying that, he was talking about when he was going there to talk to his team, you're talking to people who played basketball right now because of Kobe Bryant. I mean, who in that locker room currently that's a Clipper that didn't want to be Kobe? All of them, Kawhi Leonard, Beverly, all of them boys in there, Paul George, they were all huge fans and had relationships with Kobe. And I mean, who playing the game today don't want his career?
Right.
You heard
Now,
what D-Wade said. He said he chased Kobe. That's
I
who he
mean,
chased.
there's no one playing right now that you know, you would be lucky if you could name any person right now that's going to have his career. Anybody.
No.
That's going to have his career.
Man,
you know.
5 NBA championships, 18 All-Stars, man.
Nobody's gonna have that. Nobody.
You know what? I mean, you can
start with,
say that there
we're
are
not
young
gonna see
kids on the horizon, but it's hard to have that career. And you can have a very, very successful and a great career and not have that one too. There are a lot. Charles Barkley had a great career, never won an NBA title, but he had a great career. Bernard King had a great career. I can tell you some bad boys.
There's very few people that you can say came out of high school and went to the pros. There's not that many of them.
Dominating adults.
There's
You
not
18.
that many of them.
You out here whooping people that's been in the league 10 years.
Come on, man.
I just really
Straight
know
to the
three.
pros.
I just really know three.
That came out of high school?
That and was gangster with it. And that was LeBron, Kobe, Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. There you go.
I don't
Yes, sir.
really know. I'm pretty
Well,
sure
no.
there's another.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
I got ready to say Garnett, but that's it. I mean, there's probably another one, but I don't know. This dude was just. But Moses Malone had a great career. Kevin Garnett had a great basketball career. One of my favorite players too, man. I love just his cussing on the floor.
Yeah.
I went to the game.
trash
Dog, I went to the game to hear Kevin Garnett cuss people out, man.
Was he
That's why I
world-class
went.
with it?
Dog. I remember we were doing
Kevin
Kings of
Garnett,
Comedy.
potty mouth, boy.
I remember we was doing Kings of Comedy in Minnesota, and he came early, while they was doing a sound check, and we ran up into him. Man, it was just a great moment. The last time I saw Kobe Bryant was at the World Series game that was in Los Angeles. It was the Dodgers against the Sox, Boston. And we were sitting on the same row. And there was a lot of people between us, but we were on the same row, right over there by the Red Sox dugout. And around 7th inning, man, I was trying to get out of there. And I saw him, and he stood up. He said, "My man." We went over there, and I hugged him, and I hugged his wife. That's the last time I saw him or talked to him. And it was, you know, you know, when somebody passes, you always go, man, last time I saw them or said something, you know. And Kobe and I were not friends. You know, we didn't have each other's cell number. We never talked. Just always saw each other. It was real respect. Always saw each other. It was just real respect. I didn't know him personally like that. You know, I got Shaq's number. I know Shaq. You know, I didn't know Kobe like that. But every time I saw him, man, especially after he had gotten through that incident with that girl in Denver, right? I saw him once and I said, hey, man, I want to give you the utmost respect, man. You have turned yourself into quite a man and a brother. He said, thank you for saying that, man.
All right, we'll have more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Hey, we back. I wanted to show you, I wanted to play something that I found to be extremely prophetic. The night that LeBron James broke Kobe Bryant's record, which was the night before, they had him in the locker room talking about the breaking of Kobe Bryant's record. Now, this that you're about to hear was LeBron James's comments before Kobe Bryant passed. When I heard this and saw what he said, it was unbelievably eerie. It was almost as if he was paying a tribute to him, which he was, but it was prior to his passing, prior to this tragic accident. And he was just sitting in front of his locker telling the story about what Kobe meant to him over the years, how he met him when he was 15 years old and he gave him a pair of shoes. And the next day, Kobe Bryant dies in a car crash. In a helicopter crash. This is what he said, and I was hesitant to play it because I didn't want you to think that he was so casually talking about his mentor and the reason he played basketball in such a cavalier way. But I'm trying to get you to understand was this interview was the night before he passed. So here it is.
You know, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I was growing up through the ranks when Kobe came into the league. He was, it wasn't a dream of mine to come straight, from high school at that point in time to the NBA. But I was like, wow, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid being able to make that leap, that's pretty damn cool. And as I started playing more ball and I was winning in high school, the things that he was doing on the floor, I, admired and wanted to be a part of. I went to ABCD camp, and he came and talked to all the kids that was there, and I happened to be one of the kids that was there, and I was just listening. I was just trying to soak everything up I could, And I remember one thing that he said. He was like, if you want to try to be, great at it, or want to be one of the greats, you got to put the work in. There's no substitution to work. And I was a 15-year-old kid at that camp. You can actually find the footage of him at that camp. And in 2001, I believe I was playing in New Jersey, and the All-Star game, if I'm not mistaken, and y'all could correct me, was in Philly, right? Yeah, that Saturday, me and Maverick drove to the Intercontinental downtown Philadelphia, and he gave me a pair of his shoes, which I ended up wearing that following night. It was the red, white, and blue Kobe's. I was a 15, and he was a 14, and I wore them anyways. And I sat and just talked to him for a little bit. He gave me the shoes. I rocked them in the game. And it was the same night that we played Oak Hill against Melo. And then I saw what he was able to do the very next night, winning MVP here in Philly. That following night. As I got drafted, I still just admired him. Seeing what he was able to accomplish, winning championships, having, being early in his career where, he learned from the misses that he had against the series against Utah, and he just used that as motivation and got better and better and better to him winning multiple championships, and continued to admire him throughout my high school rank. And then as competitors, just seeing the work ethic that he put into the game. He had zero flaws offensively, zero. You backed off of him, he could shoot the three. You body him up a little bit, he can go around you. He can shoot the mid-range. He can post. He can make free throws. He has 0 flaws offensively. And, that's something that I admired as well, just being at a point where the defense will always be at bay, where they couldn't guard you at all offensively, where you just felt like you was just immortal offensively because of your skill set and your work ethic.
Wow.
Man, and that's true. He didn't lie.
I get what you're saying now.
That's the night before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Prophetic, yeah.
But he's talking about the memories of Kobe. It was so
Yeah.
heartfelt.
And what he meant to him, right?
Yeah, what he meant to the game.
Yeah, he was his mentor.
And that same day, Kobe tweeted.
Yeah,
his
he
last
did.
tweet. He tweeted continuing, to move the game forward at King James. That's LeBron's Twitter handle. Much respect, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's eerie. It really is eerie.
That was
eerie.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. When I heard it, I said, man, this sounds like he said this afterwards. But I take my hat off to LeBron James because this dude, the thing I've learned from people who have a special gift, that are not only gifted but also fine people, they have a way of putting things into context that's relevant and that resonates with other people. That's what I've seen over the years from people who are aware of other great people because they must have a measure of that in themselves, if you know what I'm saying. And I've always noticed that the great ones who are aware of history and have an understanding of other people's greatness, because there's a piece of that in them, they have a way of phrasing things that helps other people really understand and relate. And for him to say that the day before was really prophetic.
All right, we'll have more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All morning we've been talking about the tragic loss of one of the NBA's greatest players, Kobe Bryant. It's just hard for me to say. It's so hard to believe that
Shirley,
this has actually happened.
Every NBA player that's playing this game today, every last one of them have been in a backyard, on a playground going, Kobe, 5, 4, 3, 2, all of them.
Let it fly.
Every last one of them. Because this is that generation's Jordan.
Yeah.
None of us played without going Jordan 5, 4, 3, 2, whoosh, trying to shoot one in. This dude here was in the conversation of being the greatest basketball player of all time. Because the conversation is Jordan, Magic, LeBron, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tim Duncan. This is the conversation. You're in that conversation of top 5 greatest basketball players. You're in the conversation, partner. What I admired about him was his ability to survive the hardships. That thing with that girl in Denver, man, would have took most people out. This dude he would leave court, fly back to LA, drop 40.
Yeah.
No, dog. No shoot around, no nothing. Get back in time for the game, drop 40. And dog, he was wrestling with doing some serious time over this. I mean, thank God it worked out for him. But man, and then the thing between him and the other players and what he just went through as a young man, grappling so young with being famous, man, because there's no school for fame.
Yeah.
It's growth, yeah.
And you just have to figure it out in front of everybody.
Yeah. And the thing,
You
Steve,
should see all those basketball teams. A lot of games were yesterday. I mean, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Knicks, the Nets. They all of these teams pay tribute. The Spurs, they all pay
moments
tribute
of silence
to Kobe. It's just all of these, especially these young basketball players that are in the league now.
I was one of them.
Every last one of them.
Junior?
No, chill.
He said he was one of them.
No, we finna stop this now.
I'm not playing.
Now, he can run, but he can't. We're going to stop this conversation. No,
Junior
no.
hoop?
No,
He
no,
said he
no.
play, man.
one of them.
He
No.
just said that.
Okay.
How
we're going
am
to stop this
I
right
wrong?
now.
Y'all finna get
I
this
was with
picture
you with
in
the
the
running. It's not finna be no damn basketball.
Now,
team.
if I had said that, that'd be a whole different story. But Junior can play, okay?
We'll be back with more of the
You
Steve
wasn't
Harvey
there,
Morning
Jay.
Show
I didn't say
coming
I
up
was.
right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, last night, it was the 62nd Annual Grammy Awards. It was hosted by Alicia Keys. And the opening of the show, Alicia was... yeah, it was really, really sad. Alicia was joined on stage by Boyz II Men. They paid tribute to Kobe Bryant. Take a listen.
Here we are, together on music's biggest night, celebrating the artists that do it best. But to be honest with you, we're all feeling crazy sadness right now. Because earlier today, Los Angeles, America, and the whole wide world lost a hero. And we're literally standing here heartbroken in the house that Kobe Bryant built. Right now, Kobe and his daughter Gianna and all of those that have been tragically lost today are in our spirit, they're in our hearts, they're in our prayers, they're in this building. And I would like to ask everybody to take a moment and just hold them inside of you. Hold them inside of you. And share our strength and our support with their families. We never imagined in a million years we'd have to start the show like this. Never, 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 never. So we wanted to do something that could describe a tiny bit how we all feel right now. It's so hard to say goodbye to what we had. The good times that made us laugh outweigh the bad.
And now tell me with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard
To say goodbye to yesterday. We love you, Kobe.
There was also a tribute to Nipsey Hussle on the Grammys, led by DJ Khaled. And in that Nipsey Hussle tribute, they also honored Kobe Bryant. So, like Alicia Keys said, Kobe Bryant on the hearts and minds of everyone, especially in LA, in the United States, and around the world. I mean, globally, this has hit us hard right here. 41 years old. It's just
Did you see
an unthinkable
all
thing.
of those fans, the
Yeah.
Lakers fans and just fans of Kobe Bryant? Did you all see them gather
Yeah.
around the Staples Center and just had a memorial
moment,
of
yeah.
flowers?
LA is
for him
very,
and
very
his
sad.
daughter?
I mean, they love Kobe Bryant.
He
man.
played his entire
They
career
love
there.
Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant.
He
Yeah.
was the right.
He
Yeah.
was the
He
man.
was
He really was, right?
Yeah. Cat Dog, our engineer that runs the board and takes care of us, Cat, Kobe was his favorite player. He didn't talk about anybody else but Kobe all the time.
Yeah.
That was his guy.
Well,
I
my
mean,
friend
the
I used to work
NBA.
with, she named her son Kobe after Kobe Bryant.
After
I mean,
Kobe
it's serious with a lot of these people.
Remember
I mean, they're
Brandy?
in tears. They're heartbroken, right?
Remember when Brandy took him to her prom
Yeah.
years ago?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, that was a moment, you
Yeah.
know.
He was in a Destiny's Child video.
He was,
Remember back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah.
He won an Oscar last year. Remember
He
that?
sure did.
Yeah, he won an Oscar, an Academy Award
He
for his
made music.
basketball movie.
Yeah, he made music too.
Yeah.
He made music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was something special. He certainly was. We'll have more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You know what? We've been talking about Kobe Bryant all morning. One thing I did want to point out is that we knew, of course, we were living in L.A. and everything. We knew about the rivalry with Shaq and Kobe. But what I loved is that they squashed their beef. I love that. You know?
Well, a huge part of it was they both were married.
Mm-hmm.
They both were having families. And they just sat down as men and went, really, man, what's important here? They sat down as men and they became really, really close friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, Kobe made some mistakes. Who ain't? He made mistakes.
We all
Who ain't?
We all have.
Right.
Man, and
We
he
all
ain't
fall
done
short.
nothing no crazier than nobody else. It was just an incident. And the way he handled it, what he said, caused a rift. But he apologized. He knew the mistake. But there once again, a camera was in Kobe's face, and he just said something off the cuff. That's all it was, man. He just said something off the cuff. And they eventually squashed it quickly, and they became great friends, man. He was, that was Uncle Shaq to all his kids. You know, and just a great relationship they had,
That was part of his caption, Steve, where Shaq said that with his condolences.
Yeah,
he said his niece. He
Called
lost
his niece.
Speaking of Gianna, you know.
All right. Wow. But I'm glad they squashed it. Yeah. We'll be back with more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show at 33 minutes after the hour, right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, here we are back with the Steve Harvey Morning Show. We've been discussing the tragic death, of course, of Kobe Bryant all morning. We're all devastated. And Stephen A. Smith, we all know him, of course, from ESPN and from his talk
He's a
show.
family member.
Yeah, he's just, we love Stephen A. And Stephen A., of course, loved Kobe like we all did, but he actually knew Kobe. And this is what he had to say. Take a listen.
It's just devastating. Obviously, I found out a few minutes after the reports came out, and it's a guy I've known for his entire career, and I've known him pretty well, and we've talked a lot and throughout the years, and knowing what a winner he was, not just on the basketball court but off of it, how inspirational he was, how motivational he was, in terms of really helping to instill in other people, just the tenacity and the focus on being all that you could be, never taking any shortcuts, a willingness to put in the work, to rip yourself and shred yourself of the excuses of the things that hold you back from achieving the things that you aspire to achieve. It wasn't just about basketball with him, it was about life. And that Mamba mentality wasn't something that was reserved for just basketball players or for just athletes. It was for any human being out there who had a dream, who felt the need to be inspired about something, who wanted something so badly. It was about going out and getting it, and he was just that kind of guy. And he laughed a lot more than people realized. He told a lot of jokes more than people realized. He'd sting you whenever he could because that was his way. He was a great basketball player. He was a great father. He loved his wife, and that's obviously tremendously. He was a great friend. We were just together on New Year's Eve, and we were supposed to meet again in a few weeks to discuss some things, and to just hear the news that he passed away, particularly in this fashion. He's been taking a helicopter for decades, living in Newport Beach, and flying toward downtown to LA to the Staples Center, to and from games all the time for many, many years. He loved being in that helicopter. He certainly was never really concerned about it. And for him to be gone, particularly through these means, is incredibly tragic, and it's sad. And to know that his daughter was on a helicopter with him, it just resonated even that much more profoundly. So obviously it's incredibly sad for me, incredibly sad for the NBA community, and it's just hard to put it in words, to be quite honest with you. That's the best I can do.
Wow. That put it in perspective. Yeah.
Man, we cannot take life for granted.
Nope. That's
at all.
Exactly right.
No, man.
That's right, Tommy.
We cannot take life for granted.
And
It's ironic that Kobe has a video of him saying that, Tommy. There's a video of him saying that, enjoy life, don't take it for granted. When one thing ends, move on to the next. And he was saying it in a video. And that's
but if you think about it, we may not have a video of it, but all of us have said that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming up, we have one more break on this Monday. Steve with his closing remarks right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Steve, here we are. This is definitely the last break of the day.
It's the last break of the day.
Yes, it is, Jay. And
you know what? I just want to
some
say
closing remarks.
in closing, I think this puts a lot of things in perspective for a lot of us. When someone of this magnitude passes. Now, the thing is, I'm hearing people say, this is the most devastating day of my life because of his passing. Well, there are those of us who have been around and seen other devastating days. And as tough as yesterday was for me, and as how much I hated to hear that news and how badly I felt for his wife and his father and his family, there are those of us who have some personal moments that we've had that even outweigh this. There are people listening to this show who have lost mothers, who have lost fathers, and can attest to more difficult times. But grief is not a competition. And we're not in this to say who's hurting more because of what. Because sometimes I'm careful with how I word myself when it comes to my grief about a situation, because it almost becomes like, you ever been to a funeral and people try to out-grieve one another? You kind of see it. I think this is a time for all of us to recognize how fragile life really, really is. And one of my daughters called me, texted me, and said, "I love you, Dad." And it was so kind of out of place, So they always tell me they love me, but it was just simple, "I love you, Dad." And that was it. And so I called them back because, okay, is something wrong? And she just said, "No, I'm just really sad today about Kobe and his daughter and how, Kobe's wife must feel. And I just wanted to tell you I love you." I said, "Well, I love you too." And so it dawned on me that all of us should take a moment today, tomorrow, this evening, and put a phone call in to somebody that you really love and tell them that. Because as we saw today, you don't know the time, the place, or the hour when your time on this earth is up. And you want to kind of have said something positive to somebody to make sure that you got something said. You know what I mean? I think a really bad thing or part about grieving is when someone leaves here and you didn't get a chance to correct a mistake with them. You didn't get a chance to say, "I'm sorry." You let your end come to the end with its unfinished forgiveness. If you owe anybody an apology, call them. If you don't think you owe them an apology, call them anyway. If it's somebody that you need to forgive, pick up the phone and tell them you forgive them. I was on a business call yesterday at 2:00 Eastern time, 2:30. We were discussing it and my phone was lighting up. "Have you heard about Kobe? Have you heard about Kobe?" And on the other end, these people who are nothing like me were getting the same things, and we started talking about it, and it was a huge business thing that we had to get. And I just said, "Hey man, I can't do this right now. I got to get off the phone. I got to check this out." And the guy said, "Hey, we're handling business here." And do you know what, man? At that particular moment, business meant nothing to me, because all of a sudden life came into focus. Because how fragile life is has nothing to do with business. It really doesn't. And I just got off the phone because I wanted to talk to somebody I love. And my wife was away from the house, and I just called and she said, Steve, did you hear? And we talked about it. Today, pick up the phone. If it's somebody you love, call them and tell them. Pick up the phone today if you've had a problem with anybody that you were once cool with and straighten it out. If anybody has asked you for forgiveness and for whatever reason you've not given it to them, pick up the phone and tell them you forgive them. And then ask them for your forgiveness for not forgiving them. Call your mother and tell her you love her today. Call your children, call your dad, call your brother, your sister, and tell them that you love them today. Man, this thing is fragile. We need to remember that because we know not the day, the time, or the hour when our day will come. Just remember that, y'all. Those are my closing remarks. So.
All right. Drop that mic.
Oh, that's
Steve.
right.
Yeah.
Well, start right now. Hey, I love you guys.
Love you, love you, love you,
You know?
love you back.
Love you.
Love you
I love
back.
you guys.
I really do.
And
Yep.
keep it going. Keep it
Yeah.
going. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Don't let it stop.
Yep. Give them their flowers now while they're alive and can appreciate them.
I don't want no flowers, Shirley. And Shirley, and you owe me an apology too. Because you remember, Shirley, when I bought you them flowers in L.A.?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember.
And
Do you remember what
turned them
caused
down?
you to have to buy those flowers in L.A.?
No, but whatever it
Oh, you
was, I
don't?
was apologizing. I don't remember, but I'm sure you do. But the fact that you turned the flowers down after all these years, it's 20 years, you owe me an apology is what I'm getting at.
She turned the flowers down.
Jay,
Yeah, because he said something
Stay
that
out of it,
offended
Junior.
me or
Stay out
that
of it.
hurt my feelings.
And I apologize, Junior. So I had some flowers brought up to the station. A bunch of them. She
That's
turned all
nice.
of them down.
Oh, about 4, 5 dozen.
Oh, Shirley.
Well, y'all have a great weekend.
Just let, yeah.
Okay.
I
It's
love
coming.
y'all.
Yes, sir.
Let me
It's
just say
coming.
that. I love you.
I love you guys too. For all Steve Harvey contests, no purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Participants must be legal U.S. residents at least 18 years old unless otherwise stated. For complete contest rules, visit steveharveyfm.com.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.